All right, back on the Young Turks. Well, we just gave you a serious progressive in Robert Scheer. Let's give you a conservative now. Representative Sharon Cooper is from Georgia. She's a Georgia state representative, and she just recently won a Republican primary against another Tea Party candidate. But she's also written the book, Taxpayers' Tea Party, How to Become Politically Active and Why. Representative Cooper, welcome to the Young Turks.
Thank you very much for having me on, Cenk.
Oh, no problem. Now, you and I might have differing ideas on how to save the Tea Party, that being your theme. Why don't you tell me yours? First of all, what do you need to save it from, and then how would you do it?
Well, I think it's had smaller groups or other outside groups try to take it over, specifically about social issues. And it's not that the social issues aren't important, but that shouldn't be the focus of the Tea Party. The original focus of the original Tea Party was on taxes and taxation. And I think that to be successful, the Tea Party needs to focus on smaller government, tax reform, and eliminating government waste. How's that fit with yours?
All right, that's good, and that's your primary objective, and I think that makes more sense, right? But I have a second problem with what you're saying there. I think there's a second disconnect, let me put it that way.
Okay.
Because the Tea Party anger was originally about the bailouts, right?
Right.
So I don't think that the anger was, hey, let's make sure that that the rich pay less taxes or the bankers pay less taxes. I think the anger was, we don't want them taking our money. So I think that's a totally separate issue. And I think the Tea Party movement got co-opted by the richest people in the country into doing their dirty work for them. All of a sudden, they're finding themselves arguing in favor of Wall Street bankers keeping more money. So how did that happen?
Well, I mean, because it's government interfering with our lives. I think I disagree with you. I mean, people begin to be angry about what was happening in their lives, and the failure of Washington to do anything about it except become intrusive and just move for bigger government. It's like the health care plan. There are 129 new bureaucracies that will be set up if the health care plan continues and goes through like it was passed. 129 new federal bureaucracies. People are angry about the deficit. They're angry about intrusion into their lives, and I don't think it has anything to do with rich people.
Okay, wait, let's take this one step by step then. Do you disagree that the original Tea Party movement was born out of the anger about the bailouts?
Started there, but
okay.
So much happened so quickly. It was just that. It was just that spark for a very short period of time. Because
okay, if it was originally about the bailouts, why was there no protest at Wall Street? Why was there no protest at the Treasury Department, this Democratic Treasury Department? Why was there no protest to get our money back for all the money that got sucked out by the bankers?
Well, for one thing, I think that it took this economic turndown to activate this huge expanse of people across our country who, for the very first time, are really paying attention to what's going on. I think when people were happy and had jobs and were sort of fat and sassy, they weren't paying attention. But when we had this huge economic turndown, people began to pay attention, and it's taken some time for the movement to just really grow. And there was so much intrusion and so many bills pushed so quickly, and the health care plan.
I think you're doing it right now. I've got to be honest with you, Representative Cooper. I think you're again misdirecting it into, hey, listen, people were angry about the bailouts, but instead of fixing that, let's do more deregulation, which you're calling intrusion, right?
Right.
And saying, hey, so we shouldn't regulate the bankers at all. We should let them take whatever risk they want. And if they blow up again, so what? Let the sucker taxpayers pay for it. That's what happened last time. If you deregulate them again, which we are basically, that's what's going to happen again.
Well, I would disagree with you. What really sent the bankers in were the Democrats. When they started saying, bankers were pretty conservative. Think about this. And if you couldn't pay for a home note, you didn't get it. And all of a sudden, Barney Franks and his person that he lives with, or his lover at the time, who ran Fannie Mae, and I have who ran Fannie Mae, all of a sudden Congress is saying, let's give people, basically, who cannot afford loans, let's make the banks set up and do things that they shouldn't be doing. Like,
okay, Representative Cooper, I got to stop you on two counts. Number one, you said you don't want to talk about social issues, and then you throw in Barney Frank's lover into this conversation about finance. I have no idea why you did that. I mean, actually, I do know why you did that. I do know why you did that. And you know why you did that.
I have no problem with Barney Frank. One of my best friends is gay. I'm one of those Republicans who doesn't get on that, but that's who.
Except for when you just did.
Well, except that.
Why did you? Okay, you know what? I'm going to stay on that point. Why did you bring up his lover in the middle of this conversation?
Because it would be like somebody else in Congress giving it and working to do something that would benefit their mistress or their wife that ran the bank.
But wait a minute. What does that have to do with the banks? I don't get it.
Because, well, no, it's because it was when Fannie Mae and when they, because he ran it, Barney Frank's.
But what does that have to do with his personal life?
It wasn't, except that me trying to tell you that it was a very close personal relationship. It would have been the same if it was a man that was in Congress helping move a sweetheart deal that would have benefited his wife if she was running the government program, or his mistress. It doesn't matter.
I think we both know why you brought that into it. Now let's move on to the matter at hand here. Look, you think if you're saying that the banks, golly gee willikers, they didn't want to make money off these fraudulent loans, but Barney Frank made them. That is an absurd proposition, not backed up by the facts at all. People like Countrywide, hold on, let me finish. People like Countrywide made a tremendous amount of money on flipping those mortgages. They would get the mortgages and they didn't care how bad they were because they would just take them, take the fees, and then transfer them and sell them to someone else. And then Goldman Sachs would take it and sell it to someone else. And guess who wound up holding the hot potato? We did. Guess who wound up making billions of dollars? The guys at Countrywide, the guys at Goldman Sachs. If you think Barney Frank made them make billions of dollars and they were opposed to it, that would be absurd.
I'll agree with you, but when it really took off and when the greed really started is when the government sanctioned it. So in essence, Congress sanctioned the bad loans, and they sanctioned and said, okay, go ahead and do this. And yeah, those people were greedy, bastards, if we can say that on the air.
Yes.
And they did when they saw the opportunity open up. But it is our federal government that gave them the go-ahead and said, ooh, go ahead.
No,
give these people loans.
Cooper,
and
again,
boy, they did. You're right. They took advantage of it.
Representative Cooper, again, that goes to the heart of our disagreement. When you say the government sanctioned it, what you're actually saying in reality is the government deregulated and said, all right, banks, I don't care what kind of loans you make. I don't care if there's documentation. There isn't documentation. Have at it, Hoss. That's deregulation. And deregulation caused the problem.
If they'd let the bankers alone, they would have never given those loans.
Oh, no. But Representative Cooper, that is a patently absurd thing to say. You're telling me those bankers didn't want to make billions of dollars? That we twisted their arm? They otherwise would have never made those loans that wound up with all that money in their pocket.
People who couldn't afford loans didn't get them. How hard was it to get a household loan before? If you had a bad credit rating, if you couldn't afford it, if you didn't have job security, you didn't get loans. We didn't have zero interest loans. We didn't have all those things before.
That's exactly right. Do you know what changed? Deregulation. And hold on, Representative Cooper, hold on. I'm going to explain it to you, right? Because I don't want you to just throw out talking points and then and run from the issue here. Here's how the deregulation worked, okay? They said, okay, you can have any leverage you like, for example. In 2004, the Bush administration did that. But it wasn't just Republicans, it was Democrats. The Clinton administration deregulated the banks and said, oh, you guys can take the deposits that American taxpayers or just regular folks, consumers put in and use that for your own gambling, right? And they combined the investment banks with the regular banks. When we deregulated everything, that's what changed, and that's what allowed the banks to say, all right, who cares about the documentation? Who cares about how much risk I'm taking with these derivatives? I'm going to put the money in my pocket, and when it blows up, I'm going to pass it off. Don't you see that was the problem?
Well, I can see that it would certainly be a problem, but on the other hand, do you want us to go back to where we regulate them so totally they can't do anything, and so they tied up the money?
What does that mean? They can't do anything. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, the banks are scared to do anything now. They're sitting on billions of dollars because there's so much federal regulation. They can't lend it out to small businesses so we can get our economy started again.
No. Let me tell you what's actually happening. The reason the banks are sitting on the money is because we never said to them, hey, you know what, here's a condition for getting taxpayer money is that you have to lend it out to credits to small business across the country. Instead, we said, do whatever you like with it. And so what they did with it was they kept it so they could use it as leverage to make more bets the same derivatives bets that we should have outlawed but never did. So they're continuing to do their risky trading. That's why they suck the money out. That's why they're still doing it. And what you want to do is, in the name of not intruding, deregulate them further so they can keep on taking those risks and blow up our economy.
You know what it is, Cenk? And if you're in government, if you're out, it's easy to look at it. And I guess we're probably right on both sides. There's a fine line when you go in government in trying to protect citizens and not intrude too much in their lives. And it's really hard to find the right balance. I can tell you that because I deal with it in the legislation, on all sorts of legislation. It's finding that balance where you protect American citizens or you protect Georgia citizens, but you don't intrude too much. And it's hard to do, and sometimes people screw up. So I think both of us are right on the other thing. Now, in health care, it is way too much intrusion because whoever controls your health care controls your very life, and that program is going to control our life. The president has put somebody in there who believes that we should have rationing to be the total head of it, and we're in trouble with it. And it's already, even the president's own people are saying that premiums are going to go up, which don't increase taxes, and they're telling the Democrats, don't go around the country saying it's going to save you money and all, because they know it's not.
All right, let me wrap up in this way, because
Okay.
if we get into health care, then, that's there's going to knows another 20 minutes.
Well, that's
Look,
my basic issue.
No, right, listen, I understand that the balance is tough, but when we're not talking about intruding into people's lives, generally that's the purview of Republicans and conservatives. They say you can't do this in your bedroom, and I don't like you dating that guy or this girl. And they want to get between us and our lovers, our partners, our doctors, et cetera, right? Now, when I say intrusion, what you call intrusion, I call regulation of Wall Street so that they don't rob us again, okay? That would be the balance I would strike, okay?
Well, I would certainly want, like I say, I can agree with you. I don't want them going wild again, and I don't want us to have to bail them out again.
All right. Hey, look, we're going to end on agreement.
Okay.
Representative Sharon Cooper, her book is The Taxpayers' Tea Party, How to Become Politically Active and Why. Thank you
Thanks
for joining
having
us.
me on.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Young Turks.